You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
Welcome to Worthen Arena, and this game very worthy of your time. It's the match between the Ball State Cardinals and the Akron Zips. Both these teams very close in the MAC. Ball State at 7, Akron at 6. But this is the pre-match show presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Tyler Klimes, joined by Ryan Stojetz. AJ Swiatek will be joining us later on in the night. He will be your play-by-play announcer tonight. But Ryan, let's waste no time. I mentioned it just at the start of the show. 6 and 7 in the conference. Let's start with the home team, Ball State Cardinals. They're 2 and 3 in the conference so far. A bit of a slower start for them. What do you want to see from them tonight, and what have you seen from them so far?
Well, I think it's important that you mentioned the slow start in conference play for Ball State, because you might think, okay, 2 and 3 in conference play through 5 matches. I mean, that's not awful by any stretch, but when you put it in perspective, last season the Cardinals won their first 9 MAC games to begin conference play, so it's a little bit of unconventional territory for Ball State, playing from behind in the MAC standings as we approach the 1/3 mark of conference play for Ball State and Akron. This will be both of their 6th of their conference matches. There's the 18 conference matches in the MAC schedule, so we're already hitting that 1/3 mark of conference play for both of these squads tonight. It's hard to believe. So from what I've seen from Ball State, they'll tell you that in those matches against Bowling Green, which were their first 2 conference matches of the season, they didn't play their best volleyball. However, with that being said, 2 matches with the Bowling Green State Falcons, who currently sit tied atop the MAC with Eastern Michigan, having a 5-1 conference record. That's a really tough draw to start conference play. And it's, on one hand, it's tough because you're playing from behind in the standings, and on the other hand, it's nice that you got those matches out of the way. However, I think what Ball State wants to do, they just want to play a complete volleyball match. They want to be in communication. They want to have team chemistry. But playing in the season long enough where players should know how to play with one another, know how to bring out the best in each other, and I think that's the expectation for the Cardinals this evening. It's
all about perspective. You could look at those 2 Bowling Green games early on in the season as tough matches to have, but you could also look at it as optimism moving forward. Those matches are out of the way, it's on to the next, and they can really just get better from here as you got those tough matches out of the way. So a lot to look forward to on the Ball State side of things. The same goes for Akron. They've had a better start in terms of their standards in the conference, starting 3 and 2. What do you expect to see from them tonight?
Well, you look at that 3 and 2 start in the conference, and I think that's something that's positive for Akron. And even though we're still relatively early in the season, you look at where we are in the MAC standings right now. Akron currently 6th in the MAC heading into tonight, which again, obviously things can change. There's a lot of action, not just here, but all around the Mid-American Conference happening tonight. Akron sitting at 6th in the conference with a 3 and 2 record in MAC play. Ball State right behind them with a 2 and 3 conference record. So if Ball State were to win tonight, both teams would be 3 and 3 in conference play and tied with each other in the standings. And just looking at where they are right now, only 6 teams make the Mid-American Conference tournament. So as it stands heading into tonight's action, Akron would be the last team in. Ball State would be the first team out. Again, very early, but just sort of painting that picture of where the MAC standings or how the MAC standings are looking. I know it's early, but for Akron, 3 and 2 conference start is encouraging because they have not had a winning conference record since 2019, and that's also the last season that they made the conference tournament.
9 and 7 that season in 2019. I like that you're already looking forward to the postseason.
Never too early. Never too early for postseason talk, scoreboard watching. Again, it's crazy. Already after tonight, going to be a third of the way through the conference schedule for both teams.
Well, let's talk about some matches earlier on in the season. Both matches happening on Tuesday night already took place. The last match for Akron was versus Buffalo. They lost that one 3-1. Ball State plays Buffalo tomorrow. What did you see in that match?
Well, I think when you look at the perspective from Akron, I think that you look at the fact that they did play some really tough sets. And yes, they lost at home. You never like to lose at home, but they played some really tough sets against a Buffalo team that's playing some good volleyball in conference. Buffalo currently 3rd in the MAC with a 4-1 conference record. I think you saw some good things. I think you saw Akron play really competitive. They just weren't able to finish in those later portions of most of those sets. So I think there were some encouraging things. I think there were some positives to take away from that match for the Zip, and I think that they'll just hope that it translates more into more complete sets, getting to that 25th point more before their opponent does.
They got their best hitter, Lauren Baker, going 17 kills for her on the Ball State side. Not as much success offensively, but did find success in terms of the win column. They won their match at Miami of Ohio on Tuesday night, 3-1. Dropped the first set, but came back and won the last three. What was there from the Cardinals out there?
Well, it's good that Ball State got the win, especially after dropping that first set, like you mentioned. But it was a bit of an unconventional night offensively for the Cardinals. They had just one player reach double-digit kills, and that was Anaya Kennedy, who had 12 kills on the evening. So you take the wins however they come, especially in conference play. But Ball State offensively, a bit of an off night for them, at least in the kill department.
And the coach for Ball State, Kelly Miller-Phillips, probably not as happy with that performance. Even though they got the win, she probably wants to see them spread the ball out a little bit more. Her 9th season as head coach, after 6 years assisting, been around Muncie for a long time. What does she have to do to get her players back in the match and try and get this second win?
Well, I think you really kind of said it there. I think that she and her team understands that, at least in conference play, even though they've gotten a couple wins, they maybe haven't played their best volleyball, haven't played the most complete matches. You'd have a match where, I think of the 5-set loss to Bowling Green to start conference play that was played here in Worthen Arena. They'd have a really good set or a really good run, but it just wasn't always all put together, or it wasn't consistent enough to result in a match victory. And look, sometimes against certain teams, like against a Miami of Ohio team that is yet to win a game in the MAC this season, you can win playing your B or your C game. However, that's a dangerous mentality to get into, because if Ball State wants to take on some of the favorites to win this conference, if they want to beat the Bowling Greens, the Western Michigans, the Eastern Michigans maybe, who's looking like a potential sleeper in the MAC off to a 5-1 conference play start, are the Eastern Michigan Eagles, they just have to play in sync, play together, and just don't leave anything out there, because that's what they did, I think, in both matches against Bowling Green, and I think even maybe on Tuesday in Oxford against the Miami Redhawks. Just don't let the opponent take advantage of you. Don't leave any point out there, and just play complementary volleyball. It's really a game where fundamentals are so important, just being in the right place at the right time, knowing the situation, knowing where the players are around you, and just using your teammates to your benefit. And if you do that, all 6 players on the court should bring out the best in each other. I think that's what Ball State's looking for tonight.
Ball State definitely has a chance to do that tonight against the Akron Zips. They're coached by Tyson Norton, his 3rd season as head coach at Akron. Spent some time at Utah State before heading there, but trying to turn this team around, and he really has done that, getting them into the postseason contention this year. What's his message to the team coming into the day and the rest of the season?
I think the message is that this is an opportunity to make a statement, because Akron's gotten off to a decent start in conference play, 3-2 in the MAC. I think that he has got to tell his team, hey, we could really make a statement coming on the road to Worthen Arena, which is traditionally a very tough place for opponents to play, regardless of the sport, quite frankly. But I think Coach Norton is telling his team, hey, if we win this game, it's going to send shockwaves around the Mid-American Conference. People are going to start taking Akron volleyball a lot more seriously. It would be a statement win, and not only would you capture the head-to-head against Ball State, you would take a 2-game lead in the standings, because an Akron victory would get Akron to 4-2 in conference play and drop Ball State down to 2-4. So just putting that in perspective regarding the standings, you have a chance to beat one of the better MAC teams on the road, but just also to fire his players up. I'm just thinking he's saying, look, not a lot of people are expecting us to win this game. This isn't typically a matchup that's been kind to us historically, which we'll get into more in a second. But we have a chance to basically shock the entire Mid-American Conference and knock off one of the MAC's, or at least what's expected to be one of the MAC's best teams on the road.
They sure do. You probably just heard it. The sirens were going off. The players ran out. And let's talk about some of the players. Sticking with Akron for now, when it comes to the Zips, who are you looking out for on the court tonight?
I'm looking at Lauren Baker, number 20, the outside hitter, a senior in her 2nd season with the Akron program, spent the 2021 and 2022 campaigns at UT Chattanooga, but just early on in her 2nd season with the Zips, she's already established herself as one of, if not the best players on this Akron team. just about every category. She's either leading her top three. Leads Akron in kills this season with 237. Also a weapon from the service line, leading the Zips in aces with 24. And also contributing defensively, third on Akron in both digs and blocks. So she is simply a do-it-all player for Akron. And when I watch Baker, what I love about her game is she understands that it's not always the powerful punch, cross-court kill, highlight reel play. Sometimes it's just that little tap in the front row, getting it over the front row of the opponent just high enough so it gets over that first row, but also not putting too much on it so the volleyball falls and hits the hardwood behind them around that attack line before anyone else in the back row can get to it. So not always making the flashy play, but just having the awareness, the ball skills, and the volleyball IQ to understand that in this game, sometimes less is more.
It sure is, and you mentioned that 17 kills in her last match, coming not just from the hard strikes, but also the softer tips over the net. Sometimes you look at those numbers and you think, wow, she must be flashy, which she is, but she can also do a lot more. So I like that you mentioned that. 17 kills last match, 17 kills back from leading the MAC in kills. So a lot of success from Lauren Baker. Expect to see more of that tonight. Shifting over to the Ball State side, though, who do you expect to see some success from?
I'm looking at Anaya Kennedy, the outside hitter, a redshirt sophomore, redshirted the 2022 season, but in 2023 received MAC Freshman of the Year honors. And Tyler, she is someone that Ball State is going to go to a lot in every match that they play, but something to really look out for is that if Ball State's ever in an offensive funk where maybe Akron's on a bit of a run and Ball State just looks out of sync, I bet you that number 14 is going to be the player that the Cardinals try to get the volleyball to get things back going. That's the kind of role that Kennedy serves on this Cardinal offense more time than not. When all else fails, get her the volleyball on the outside. And we mentioned earlier she was the only Cardinal to reach double-digit kills in the match on Tuesday at Miami, Ohio with 12. So she's just such a dynamic player that can attack anywhere on the court. And again, when all else fails, go to 14. That should be the Ball State strategy if things start to go south.
Number 14, Anaya Kennedy's team has been very consistent against the Akron Zips in this arena and just overall. What is there to say about that?
Well, there's a lot to say. Ball State leads this all-time series with these two teams by a record of 41-5. The Cardinals have won the last 6 matchups in this series. Akron's last victory against Ball State came back in 2019, and especially relevant tonight, Akron has defeated Ball State in Muncie just one time, and that was a 5-set victory back in November of 2008. The teams did play twice last season on back-to-back nights. Those matches were both in Worthen Arena, and the Cardinals won both of those matches. The first one on October 12th in 3 sets, the second one the following day in 4.
It seems like there's some sort of curse going on here for Akron, but a chance to break it tonight. So, shifting to Akron, how are they going to break the curse tonight, Ryan? How can they do that? What is the key for them if they want to win?
Well, for Akron, I think you just got to show grit on every play. I mean, you know that you're coming on the road, taking on a very talented Ball State team, so you're going to have to play mistake-free volleyball. You're going to have to earn every point, and just as important as that, if not more, you can't give away any points. You have to make Ball State work for every point that they get. No freebies, limit the service errors, limit the attack errors, keep the Cardinals on their heels, and show grit on every play. That's got to be the message that Coach Norton is delivering to his Akron squad.
And as we approach the anthem here at Worthen Arena, for the home team, the Ball State Cardinals, what's the key for them tonight?
Spread the attack. You know, Anaya Kennedy is great. We just talked about her. She'll have a big role in just about any game that she plays in. However, I'd like to see Ball State spread the attack out a little bit more. Having one player just one player that is, get double-digit kills in a match that you win is a little bizarre. So I think Ball State offensively, just to keep Akron on their toes and to make sure Akron's defense has to account for a good amount of Ball State players and not just be able to hone in on Kennedy. Spread the attack offensively. This is a very talented Ball State squad that has a lot of players that they can get the volleyball to in prime situations to get a kill and to make great plays for this Ball State team. So I think Ball State has to spread the attack because as good as Anaya Kennedy is offensively, the Zips know that. They watched their film. They did their homework. Got to spread the wealth offensively for Ball State.
Well, Ryan, it's just about that time. Very close to serving this match off. Almost exactly a year ago, these two teams matched up on October 12th and 13th. Ball State winning both of those matches. We'll see if that can be reversed tonight at Worthen Arena. Thanks for tuning in to the pre-match show for women's volleyball. Ball State and Akron Zips tonight. I've been Tyler Klimes, joined by Ryan Stojetz. AJ Swiatek will be on the mic in just a second to be your play-by-play announcer. Thanks for tuning in to the pre-match show presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paintwork on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU Sports Link.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU Sports Link.
Just about match time from Worthen Arena. I'm AJ Swiatek, right-hand man, partner in crime this evening, Ryan Stojetz. You heard it all the way from the pre-match report with Tyler Klimes. What a job those two did. Now we look forward to the matter at hand. The Ball State Cardinals, who have bested the Akron Zips in every shot they've got since 2019, will look to keep it as such, moving to 10-7 on the year, 3-3 in Mid-American Conference play. But if the Zips have anything to say about it, it will head an entirely different direction. Ryan, the vibe in the arena almost a little numinous right now. Everyone unsure of the direction of this Cardinal team. It's been exhibited through their play on the hardwood, just not the conference start you're used to seeing by a squad led by Kelly Miller-Phillips, but the talent, the roster on paper speaks for itself.
There's no doubt this is a very talented Ball State team, and the Cardinals know the talent they have, but you're right, it is a bit of unconventional territory for Ball State, playing from behind in the conference standings. A 2-3 start in MAC play after winning their first 9 MAC games last season, starting 9-0 in conference play a year ago, did the Cardinals. So it's still very early. You still have a lot of conference games left in the 18-game MAC schedule. But for Ball State, it's certainly an opportunity to get back to 500 in conference play and start climbing the standings.
Well, on Pink Night in support of breast cancer awareness, it will be 12 women starting on the floor, 6 on either side. Let's walk you through the lineups for the Zips. It will be Melissa Tora up the middle with Sophie Twig in the back line as the starting libero. She'll be helped on the right side by Gabby Prissett, with Jones, Vitskova, and Baker rounding out what Akron wants to do. Starting as for Ball State, it's Allende Smith in the middle with Eganoff on the outside, paired up with Carson Tyler. Opposite side is Madison Buckley, the center. Who else but Megan Wolonsky, and Gwen Kroll gets boosted into the starting 6 this evening.
Yeah, you think you look at Ball State, again, you see a lot of talented players in that lineup. Someone I'm looking at is Carson Tyler, number 20. a bit noteworthy because on Tuesday in Miami, she was a bit quieter. Not a typical night for her. Played just one set and got 5 kills. Not sure the reasoning for that or what that was about, but certainly eager to see how number 20 looks in these first few points for Ball State.
Only a freshman, and the real only gripe you can have with Tyler comes in terms of efficiency. That's why the plug was pulled earlier this week in Oxford, but she will get the nod to start here on a big-time stage back at home. The ball in the hand of her teammate Megan Wolonsky as the Cardinals hit left to right to start set number 1, rocking their white uniforms. The Zips wearing all navy as we are underway. Wolonsky floats one over the tape, and on the other end, Akron quickly bumps that spikes. Low Toki over the top. Enemy reset on the other end. That's where Ball State attacks. Madison Buckley wastes no time. Only the second hit of the possession catches the triangle of Zips off guard. Call it 1-0 to start the day in favor of the good guys.
Yeah, Gabby Brissett for Akron likely wants that back. She could have had a play on it, but just couldn't handle it.
So Wolonsky will do it once more. 1-0 lead for the black and red. It's sent over the tape and blocked by Buckley. What a start for big number 21. The opposite side hitter stands at 6'2". Hailing from Montgomery, Illinois. The real message there, she used every bit of that frame to climb the ladder, ultimately lead to a block. But after further review, it's been signaled as a Zips point. They'll say it went out. And Kelly Miller-Phillips not going to bring out the challenge card. So it's a 1-1 match that quickly gets right back in favor of the Ball State Cardinals. This time, Carson Tyler wastes no time to get on the board.
And that's the Carson Tyler we know, AJ, the Gatorade Player of the Year in her home state of New York a year ago. The freshman making an impact early.
So call it 2-1 in favor of Ball State. They've really dominated the first 3 points. One was called back in favor of Akron. Then I'll look to do one on their own merit. Not going to come there. It's a misplay towards the outside. Just too much oomph going to the far line from Carliana Jones. She actually has the most efficient attacking percentage on this Akron team at .432. A rare mistake. Gives Ball State a 3-1 lead in set number 1. Back to serve is Eganoff. She clears the tape with ease. Akron again with an error on the outside. This time it's Lauren Baker, who is hitting a mere .206 on the year. She gets a plethora of opportunities, just not always going to find the hard one.
Yeah, she was in the right place at the right time, just couldn't get that volleyball to land in play.
The Cardinals lead it over the Zips 4-1 in set 1. Eganoff, again, a clean serve. Service has been clean early, however, the return has not. Call it an ace, an unconventional one, albeit counts just the same. That's just a misplay from the Zips on the outside.
And that's what you can't have if you're Akron. Tyler and I talked about it in the pregame show. Akron can't give Ball State any free points if they want to be competitive in this match.
The black and red lead it 5-1. Eganoff on a bit of a roll, such a streaky sport, and she may have just found a second ace. She did. That one all on her own merit. What a serve. Just sent a weird caroming ricochet off of the back line. The libero, Sophie Twig, left shaking her head, and immediately it is a timeout out of the back pocket of Tyson Norton and his Akron squad.
I think it's a good timeout because Akron, quite frankly, there looked disoriented on those last 2 points, and you just want to stop the bleeding while you still can. Akron already down 6-1 in the first set, and yes, it's the first set, but we literally talked about how Akron is coming into an arena where they've literally only won 1 time ever, and the all-time series between these 2 teams, 41-5 in favor of Ball State. So this is not a matchup that has been kind to the Zips, so I think this is a good timeout by Tyson Norton for Akron, just calming his players down, making sure that everyone knows everyone's assignments, where your players are, because volleyball is a sport where, yes, you got to know where you are supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. You got to know where your teammates are out there on the court.
Well, it frankly couldn't have been a better start for the Cardinals. Hitting a perfect 1,000, have yet to make an error on the other end, a start to forget for the Navy and Gold. Akron hitting -250. They've yet to truly connect with one to the gap. That's how Ball State leads it 6-1 in set number 1. They've just looked cleaner out there, partner.
They have, and all Ball State has to do is just keep doing what they're doing, play mistake-free volleyball, and right now Akron's been kind of messing it up themselves, not being able to receive the serves from Ball State. We saw Lauren Baker with an attack error on the far side, someone who's usually pretty reliable for Akron, their leader in kills. Baker coming into the night 6th in the MAC in kills per set. If Akron's going to claw back in this first set, Baker's probably going to have to play some better volleyball.
Well, the timeout has come and gone. Let's see if Eganoff can keep the fire in her corner. The service has been great early from number 9, who entered with 5 aces, is now up to 7, and clears the net with ease. Again, it's a mistouch from Akron. They'll just have to free ball over. Right back to Eganoff in the back line. She bumps it set to the far side. There's a kill. Carson Tyler, only a freshman, looks like a veteran in the back set. She was ready, read that play perfectly. And how about that set? It's what we've grown used to, but Megan Wolonsky so elusive.
Yeah, she's so good. Been good throughout her whole time here at Ball State, now a senior, but was an impact player throughout her entire career here.
So the timeout, at least for the time being, couldn't cause an immediate halt to Ball State's success. And it looks like it will continue as such. It is another attacking error.
That one looked close.
And I'll tell you,
that one looked close.
You know, obviously, Ball State SportsLink Digital Radio, from our vantage point, that looked like it was in. Akron celebrated as if it was their point instead. Ball State on top 8-1 in what has been a one-sided battle, as Eganoff again has a clean serve. 3 touches on the other end. Akron blocked up front. They'll reset defensively. Just scurry at the jousting net, misplayed from Wolonsky. She wanted to free ball it over, actually sent it back spinning towards her own direction. Ball State hitting left to right. That one ended up nearly into the seats behind the Cardinals. A rare mistouch from 15, but the good news for Ball State, they have room to give. Call it 8-2 in favor of the hometown team in set number 1. That sends Akron back looking for some momentum behind the serve of Lauren Baker, and they'll immediately find it. Ball State is blocked up front themselves, and early it's clear the momentum is shifting with who is in possession of the serve.
Yeah, great heads-up play there by Carliana Jones, seeing the Ball State defense not really expecting a quick tap over, but she got it right down on the hardwood.
There is the first service error, as Lauren Baker, who entered the day at an even 24 aces to 24 errors, now has that ratio ever so slightly in favor of the latter. Making a Ball State 9-3 lead on the misplay from Baker that sends Josie Bloom back to serve. So immediately 3 taps on the other end. That'll silence the momentum. The first time we mentioned Krista Thulu, second in kills on this Akron team. She's kind of quiet, plays behind the scenes when you're alongside someone like Lauren Baker, but she is a great player in her own right.
Absolutely is. Tied for the team lead with 17 kills in Akron's last match versus Buffalo.
Ball State looking to get the momentum back. They are unable to do such for the time being. This is an off-schedule play. Both teams hitting it back and forth, and yet again, it's a misfire from Akron. The story early, as they caught Ball State out of position, there was a gaping hole up the middle. Instead, too much gas, not enough break behind the volleyball from Krista Thulu. So after she gets the kill, followed up by an error. Not what the doctor ordered for a Zips team, now trailing 10-4 in the early goings of set 1 of this match.
Yeah, Akron's just got to give themselves a chance. They got to hit the volleyball and play, at least make Ball State think about making a play on it.
Clean service from Green. Ball State's serve has been firing on all cylinders. They'll now have a chance to return after the weak tap over. Anaya Kennedy blocked up front. She's able to dig it out herself. Akron resets. They get in system a bit. Easy dig in the back line for Ledbetter. Set to the outside. That was Carson Tyler trying a kill. Now we've got a true rally going. It's blocked up front. Both Gwen Kroll and Anaya Kennedy there for the double block. You're not getting through that brick wall. Call it 11-4 cards.
Yeah, great job there by both Kroll and Kennedy. We'll see who gets credit for the block or if they'll both share it, but great job by those 2 players being right where they need to be.
So Lindsey Green serves again. Now it's a smart pokey just to beat the Ball State double block. It forces 4 touches. How about that heads-up play? Ball State was set up again with Kroll and Kennedy on the near side at the tape. Both ready for a double block. Just had it tapped over them directly into the floor.
Since that timeout Akron took, which at the time it was a 6-1 first set, pretty much even since then, Ball State would be up 5-4 since the timeout, but Akron starting to calm things down a little bit on their side.
Falani, calm service. Gives Akron a chance to set up their offense. Far side kill try is finished. The delivery from Krista Thulu, a player who in 2023 appeared in a mere 14 matches, has taken a big step forward in the early goings of 2024. So Ball State leads at 11-6, now an even 5-5 after the early Akron timeout. Look to keep the pedal to the metal. Do just that. Carson Tyler with authority. Just buried the hatchet. Not a chance it could be returned. So much velocity behind that spin job.
Yeah, the libero, Vanessa Del Real, got an arm on it, but wasn't able to make a serious play on it as that volleyball might have gone into the stands.
CT back to serve. Tyler has such a volatile serve. This time it will work in favor of her Cardinals. Yet another unconventional ace as it couldn't be returned. Not even the typical power serve we're used to from number 20 in the white jerseys, but she still gets it in her favor. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. This time, would have just preferred to have the talent on her side. Carson Tyler skies it long, and we're kind of used to seeing that from the outside hitter. Second most errors on the team, that her 24th of the year, to go with 7 aces. Only a freshman, but she's still looking to find some more consistency from beyond the end stripe.
Yeah, and that one was close just beyond the back line on that last serve.
Ball State leads it 13-7. They look to add to such. All on Akron's end of the net, not for long. Ball State block up front, gives a chance to Anaya Kennedy off the back set, who just misplays it. Top spins all the way down. Well out of play, not a competitive touch from number 14. We all know how powerful of a swing she wields. It's just about balancing such with a little bit of control. So Ball State now up 13-8. They'll feed Kennedy again, and there is that power directly through the outstretched arms of Lauren Baker. They never stood a chance. When you put that much into a kill try, really hard to block up front.
Kennedy had time to load up for that one right in the middle and just slammed it down, no doubt about that point.
BSU leads 14-8 in set number 1. That's how Kroll sends over. 3 touches on the other end, immediately blocked up front. Hyundai Smith will get credit with the solo block, I'll tell you. The graduate student stands at 6 foot, but she had bunny hops to get off of the ground, nearly doubled her height there to help fill the void in a spot where she was left on an island with a solo block. It aids Ball State to a 7-point lead as the ball is served over. Joust to the net immediately on a missed touch. Ball State sets up their offense. Far side, it's blocked. What a play up front. Delaney Cash had enough of the storylines. Ball State was getting ready to pour it on Eganoff. I'd like to have that one back.
That's what you need for Akron, those type of plays that build confidence. Now offensively, can they actually make Ball State work and not have these service errors and attack errors? That's what's holding the Zips back right now.
Cardinals lead it 15-9. Akron after the serve now has a chance to set up their offense. Just has to free ball over to the back line, met by Carson Tyler. Now up front, it's Hyundai Smith with yet another wise play. That's volleyball IQ from a 6th-year student. Just found the opening, not necessarily the most power put into it, actually an upward trajectory on its way over the net. It'll count for a point just the same. Good heads-up play. Ball State up 16-9 over Akron in set 1. It sends Megan Wolonsky, the ever-consistent server, back, who picks up an ace. Only 1 touch on the other side. Lauren Baker out of position, got stuck in the back line. It caroms off of her arms with weird spin. Never a chance for anyone else to corral it. And it will force the second and final timeout from Akron in set 1, a set that's been dominated by the Cardinals.
Yeah, it really has been dominated by Ball State. And I think what's just made it so tough for Akron is how far behind they got early. We mentioned early on the timeout taken by Tyson Norton when his team was down 6-1. Akron looked a little bit better for a few points after that, but still it's been really a set that Ball State has controlled from the start. And I think that, yes, you're seeing some good things from Ball State. You're seeing Anaya Kennedy, Hyundai Smith, some of these players that we knew were going to be good, but stepping up and doing what we expect them to do. Good to see Carson Tyler get back in her groove after not her best night back on Tuesday. But for Akron, especially early on, offensively, too many attack errors, not even giving themselves a chance, not even making Ball State work. Akron has to change that. And I get that you wanted to hit it in exactly the right place in the, in the back corner where no one can get to it. It just stays in. But if you're Akron, I think you got to shift your game plan to, hey, let's just stop beating ourselves. Let's make Ball State work for some of these points.
And that's the message inside that numinous huddle over there for the Zips, who have come out flat. And on the other end, that feels like a really solid talking point for a Cardinals team that would likely self-inflict and admit that they have started conference play more sluggishly than they would have liked. Here they come out with plenty of juice. It's 17-9 out of the timeout huddle where Wolanski will continue to serve here on the near end. It's time from the left side. Wolanski goes through her cadence. Helps calm her down out of the break. Nearly forces another ace out of her back pocket. Instead, it's a free ball over from Akron. Wolanski now sets to Ayende Smith. What a shot up the middle. Akron was guessing a far side set, and that's what Megan Wolanski does so well. Just when everyone was keyed into Eganoff, it left an island for Ayende Smith. Nobody there with an answer. 18-9 Cardinals. That's where the practice starts to show up. These Ball State Cardinals, so many new faces, but the chemistry starting to show a little bit. Akron not going to be immediately put on notice, however, as Ball State was looking to really rally out of that timeout. Won't happen immediately, as the Zips just force a little bit of a mistouch from the Cards. 18-10 in set one is what Ball State leads by. Mitskova's serve, a good one. One touched over from Ball State. It was a mistouch, and that will force them to pay. Gabby Brissett just kind of does the cleanup there and now mops out the floor. 18-11 after she found the hole.
Bit of an awkward point there for Ball State. Carson Tyler's reception of the serve ended up carrying the volleyball all the way back into Akron territory, where they eventually came away with the point.
Serve clean from Akron. Ayende Smith sends it off of the dome of Lauren Baker. Head tap for number 2, who is fired up front. That thing had steam behind it, and I can tell you, Lauren Baker, that can't feel good. She's checking into the back line. Big time kill from number 2 for the Cards, as Ball State up 19-11 with Eganoff back to serve. Akron pushes the other way. Now Wolanski sets far side. Nice heads-up play. Ball State is dominating set number 1. Carson Tyler, no different. She's been a big piece of the puzzle all season long. That time went all the way across the court, a cross-court kill. Again, taking a little bit off of it to pinpoint where Akron is out of position.
That's good on her for having that vision to see, hey, there's a lot of open hardwood over there, and then getting the volleyball over there in time.
2011 serve from Eganoff. Over. Kill try, success. Akron doesn't allow a chance for Ball State to answer defensively, as the libero Ledbetter just couldn't get a good read on it, ultimately finds the floor. That new TerraFlex floor that was donated as part of One Ball State Day. Gotta say, it looks sharp for those unfamiliar. Worthen Arena now covered with a black playing surface, as Akron serve over, good. It forces a free ball from Ayende Smith, and now sets up them offensively. Joust forces a whistle. They'll say it's a net violation, as Ball State got a little bit too choosy near the tape. 20-13 still the score, and I feel like the overall message in terms of how they've come out, Kelly Miller-Phillips' team just looks more well coached early. They have come out with a game plan, emphasizing finding the holes. It doesn't take a genius to tell you that's a good way to win, and they'll continue to do such. Immediately off of the serve of Baker, it's 3 touches, goes from the libero up to Wolanski, and when she gets a back set to Smith, it almost always ends in that fashion.
Yeah, Ayende Smith, so fun to watch. Such an incredible get in the transfer portal for this Ball State team, formerly with Towson, now a grad student with the Cards.
Ball State leads it 21-13, quickly 21-14, as Akron's not going to go out without a battle cry, scratching their way back behind Gabby Brissett, a transfer from Bellarmine, who just used sheer power to blast it through Ball State's blocks. It was enough to find the floor before a diving effort could get to it, so it's 21-14 as Akron serves over. Looks to mount a bit of a comeback. Offense set up on the near side and blocked. Madison Buckley does it again. Second most blocks entering the day for Ball State at 44, averaging nearly a block a set. That her second here in set number 1. It'll only help the metric.
Yeah, Ball State starting to close in on what looks like it could be a set 1 victory, 22-14, but Buckley, such a wonderful presence there. Great defender, always being in the right place, right time. Very hard for opponents to score when she's in front of them.
Lindsey Green's serve sent right back to her. That's a good touch in the back line from someone who's not normally there, and it pays off. 3 taps near side. Anaya Kennedy has the final answer. She lays the boom. Warhammer out. Ball State Cardinals 23, Akron Zips 14. And you're starting to sense it. Ball State can feel set one going in their direction. It's an ace. Everything rolling in direction of a Cardinals team that's flying high. Lindsey Green was almost positive that one wasn't making it over the net, but somehow it rolls over the tape. Ball State leads it by 10 this set point. Green serves over, hits the net again. Gonna force an Akron free ball. Now Ball State sets up their offense. Kill try up the gut. Kroll is answered in the back line. Akron will just free touch over again. Ball State out of position, and they'll pay for it. The ball winds up 3 rows into the far side seats in Worthen Arena. So Akron still going to need a miracle in set one, but a good sign that they're not just throwing in the white towel here. Call it 24-15 in favor of the hometown Cards. Villani back to serve. She'll need quite the stretch to dig out of this hole. Far side, Carson Tyler. Now Akron the other way. Really good dig, gives Ball State a chance, but the Zips will still ultimately captivate that point as Lindsey Green couldn't get it over on a diving free ball after a really nice recovery from Ledbetter to even give her squad a chance. Nevertheless, Ball State 24, Akron 16. Kalani back to serve again. She'll need 8 straight points to extend the set. Won't find it. Service error in favor of the Cardinals. Ball State 25, Akron 16. Your final score of set one that was dominated by Kelly Miller Phillips' crew.
And it's funny because I was just about to compliment Akron for making an adjustment and actually focusing on making Ball State work for points. You saw a little bit of a run there for Akron. Obviously not enough to climb out of the early hole that they dug themselves in, but just seeing the adjustment offensively from Akron where it's maybe not, okay, we're going to get this kill in the back corner, perfectly placed, powerful. It's just, hey, let's get it over the net. Let's get a rally going. Let's try to force Ball State into a mistake. I think we saw the Zips do that. Obviously, it was too little too late, and the service error to end it sort of fitting because Akron, in a lot of ways, beat themselves in this first set. But I really think this second set's going to be close because I think Akron found something at certain points in the set. Just got to put it together.
Well, the Zips certainly hoping that that is the truth as, my goodness! Are you kidding me? Just as I'm ready to throw it to break, something that has never happened here at Worthen Arena. The 60-foot punt was just drained, and Ball State's bank account going to drain a bit as the pride's going in the direction of the fan. Everything going in favor of Ball State, and that's one of SportsLink's very own down there. Wow.
Yeah, just when you thought you've seen it all, thought we're going to break, unbelievable. You know, it's a shame. I was going to drink my water, so I didn't see it. I wasn't looking, but I'm glad you caught it because that is incredible.
I mean, it is all the way across the length of the volleyball floor. The hole that golf ball could have gone through, it had to be pinpoint. I don't know Tiger Woods makes that shot, but nevertheless, a Ball State fan does. The Cardinals dominating in every aspect from Worthen. The two sides will switch directions. Ball State will be hitting right to left, the Zips left to right when we're back out of this quick break on Ball State SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Zips fans, shield your ears, as if it couldn't get any worse, the Ball State Cardinals feeling eerily reminiscent of what happened nearly a year ago today. 364 days ago in Worthen Arena, Ball State won set number 1, 25-18, would go on to sweep the Zips. Tonight, even more dominant. 25-16 was the final score of set 1 as the sides break the huddle and are ready for Lauren Baker to send in as the Zips look to rewrite the narrative after a set 1 to forget. Serve set over, back set for Smith. She got all of it. It's a point for the Cardinals, who haven't lost a step.
Ayinde Smith is unbelievable. Just the way she moves in that front row, so quick, so hard to keep up with if you're an opponent, and also that right arm of her moves fast and furious.
She can rock about 25 different hairstyles, every one of them equally electric. Smith, a really fun addition to this Ball State front line. She's been feeling herself early, has Ball State up 1-0 as a free ball is sent over from their corner. Now Akron on the near side. Sends a hard kill try, barreling off of Krista Thulu, but Ball State answers the other way. Akron has a chance up front into a block. Ball State now sets up. Slobero giving up to Eganoff. Oh my goodness, that found the ground in between 3 diving Zips. It was Del Rio, Krista Thulu, and Jones, all horizontal, laying on the floor, just barely inches in between each of their outstretched arms. It's been that kind of night. Ball State leads it 2-0. So Alonsky to serve again. Nearly an ace. Akron with a good recovery. Ball State doesn't have any problems handling it the other way. Eganoff gets her first kill of the set. 3-0 Ball State behind the second kill of the day for number 9. Really doing a good job is this Ball State team at spreading the love. Everyone involved offensively.
That's something we wanted to see. That's something we didn't see for the Cardinals on Tuesday in Miami.
Polonsky serves over. There's the first Zips point of set 2. It comes almost too easily for Carliana Jones. As Ball State left a gap in their double block, the field goal was directly through the uprights. Call it 3-1 Ball State with the service in the corner of the Zips in the hands of Jones. Smacks off of her palm. Far side to Eganoff. Really good recovery from Akron. Not enough. Mistouched from Brissett after a diving effort to make it possible, but she didn't even clear the net nor hit the tape. That's one where she just mistimed the jump. You could see she was on her way down as she started to go back to swing. Not a recipe for success. It lends the Cardinals a point. They lead it 4-1. Eganoff to serve. Number 9 does so cleanly. Ball State's service has looked the best it has all season. However, Akron didn't have any trouble with it. It was Tora getting the last laugh as she found the floor for the second Zips point of set 2.
And this is key for Akron. Right now it's 4-2. Just hang around in this set. Don't let Ball State pull away like they did in set 1.
Martina Villani to serve. Knuckleball. Handled by the Cardinals. Far side, too far. Make it 4-3. No, they'll say it was tipped at the last moment. I'm not sure who got a finger on that, but Ball State fans go from sitting back down to immediately propelling back to their feet. After a late change call that no one in the arena is complaining about, ultimately Madison Buckley will get credit with a kill that maybe will stand, as Tyson Norton having a pretty visually upset conversation with the officials, but no card will come out, so play continues. Akron looking for an answer. They'll find it right away. As gashed her way through a double block. The ball wound up out of play off of the outstretched arms of a Cardinal. Make it 5-3 Ball State, but service in the corner of Sophie Twig and the Zips.
That was a good point there for Akron, getting it to go out of bounds off the block of Buckley on the far side. Akron hanging around early in set 2.
Avian Gold serve over. Wolonsky sets. Buckley kill try. Bingo! 7-3 cards.
Lauren Baker again was right there with the block attempt, and you can see the visible frustration on her face after that point, knowing that she just couldn't control it enough to give her teammate, any one of her teammates, a chance to get it, and Ball State is now doubling Akron 6-3.
Lindsey Green sends over. Another really good serve, and it will be an ace, as again it's a mistimed jump that sets off the system for Akron. They haven't been able to play their offense in the format they would have liked to this point. Ball State leads it now by 4. I was a little ahead of myself saying 7-3 on the last point. Now it holds true. Ball State up. Green serves over again. This time it's a back set and a good one as it completely dekes the Ball State defense. Delaney Gash ultimately lays the hammer as the two-time first-team All-State player from Lexington, Kentucky, only a freshman. That's kind of the general consensus and vibe from this numinous Akron team that has a lot of underclassmen seeing a lot of playing time on the floor. Ultimately, it leads to the inexperience showing and bleeding through at times like that. That time, the entire back line out of place. Madison Buckley was able to get it to Carson Tyler, who had her pick of the litter. She could have sent that anywhere. There was a wide open hole. It looked like the interstate. She just sprayed it to make the lead 8-4 Ball State. Cardinals set up on offense after a free ball from Akron. Anaya Kennedy, unconventional kill. You're used to seeing her power it through. This time took a little off of it just to do what she could to control that block up front. She did just that. Akron left stunned as Ball State leads it 9-4. Tyler serve a good one again. Back set far side. Right back to Carson Tyler in the back line. Now Eganoff set up. Other way, Akron pokies it over and gets the point. Nice heads-up play. Good IQ being shown from both sides in the last couple of points. Again, it's Delaney Gash, whose name has been said a lot here in set number 2.
And these are the type of points that are typically going well for Akron. It's those back-and-forth points where they're able to force Ball State into a mistake. That's what you're going to need to see for the Zips, as, you know, they're only down by 4, but it's, again, like the first set, been all Ball State's control early on.
Gash hits the bench and gets a breather. Vitskova has a true ace, as in the back line, Carson Tyler watched it all the way through. She thought it was going far, just barely nicked that white service stripe. So it's a point for Akron, who now trails 9-6. It's back-to-back aces. This one even more impressive than the first. Knuckling spin finds the floor. 9-7 cards in a match they lead 1-0 here amidst the second set.
Vitskova taking things into her own hands. Vitskova was a member of the All-MAC freshman team a year ago, and you're seeing why.
Third consecutive service ace. Carson Tyler just misplayed that one. It becoming a mental game as Vitskova's serve has Akron squarely back into this set, now only trailing by a mere point.
Can't say I've ever seen that before. 3 aces in a row by the same player. Unreal.
This time Ball State does have an answer, and they'll quickly get a point right back. Gwen Kroll ultimately with the final touch off of an elusive set up front. With Wolonsky on the bench for the moment being, someone had to step up, and you don't hear it often when it comes to sets, but Eganoff just picked up her first assist of the year. Ball State serve. Hit far side and misplayed, won't clear the net. Gabby Brissett rolled it all the way across. She was on the left side. The ball wound up touching nearly all the real estate on that net in the middle of the court. It'll count just the same as it landed still in Akron territory. Ball State leads set 2, 11-8. It's the serve from Kroll sent over cleanly. Kennedy. Far side touch. Akron has played best from the rally tonight. Leads to a joust up front, won by the Cards. Heads up play, only one touch was needed for Katie Eganoff. She's fired up heading into that Ball State huddle. Everyone pumped after a really nice first touch play that caught the Zips off guard amidst a joust.
Yeah, just a light tap over will do it sometimes. Less is more, as we like to say.
Cardinals 12, Zips 8. Navy and gold on defense. Now they send to the back line. Tyler able to dig it out. Anaya Kennedy tries her hand at a kill. No cigar. Akron the other direction. Tyler again shows her ability to dig. And Smith couldn't finish off the kill. Akron going right back to the outside with Brissett. Good vote of confidence. Kennedy with a hard time kill, but it doesn't pay off. It's a extended rally now. It's on Ball State's end. Set for Kennedy. She's forced to pokey it over. Akron gets to set up their offense. Not going to go anywhere. Ball State has the answers. They'll attack up front, and who else? Hyundai Smith. After all the theatrics of the longest point of the night, it was back and forth. A little bit of sloppiness from either side, but the Ball State team, who has looked better to this point, finds a way to win the off-schedule point.
Once again, it's Smith right there in the middle, that quick body movement, just getting the volleyball down before Akron can really react.
Akron free balls off of a misplay on the serve. Allows Eganoff a try, but it's dug out by Del Real. Now Ball State will set for Kennedy. She's blocked up front. Akron running out of touches. They're able to free ball it over. Oh, what a play up front. Looking as if she was going to set up her teammate. Instead, Lindsey Green on the second touch fools everybody and sends a Quaker into the middle of the court. That's one you could feel. Ball State leads at 14-8. Looking to win the race to 15 right here behind the service of Kroll. Ball State on a run now behind Kroll. Get a chance on offense. Eganoff blocked. And the point does go for Akron as the spinner is too much for Ball State to handle. A really good job blocking up front, almost like a wall. It just went spraying directly backwards in the same trajectory. So it's a point for Akron, who now trail 14-9 in set 2 after losing set 1 25-16. Lauren Baker. Good serve allows Kennedy a chance, and when there's that big of a hole, you know something's going wrong defensively, especially when it's in favor of Anaya Kennedy. Such a potent swinger. Gets Ball State to 15 first. Yet again, they lead at 15-9 in set 2.
Yeah, and Ball State's looking good. And I mean, I do want to go back to a couple points ago. That play from Lindsey Green, the sneak attack where, you know, she's a setter and you just think she's going to get it to one of her teammates, but she does the offense herself and sets it over the net and gets the point. What's so cool is that I think she learned that from Megan Wolanski, the senior setter, because how many times have we seen her do that, you know, fake out the team and just kind of subtly set it over. It's so fun to watch because Green, a sophomore setter, this time next year, she's going to be in a lot bigger of a role for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and it's really promising stuff for a 4-year letter winner from Ursuline Academy. You mentioned it. She's from Loveland, Ohio, who produced the likes of Marie Plint, a Ball State women's volleyball legend. Her brother, Drew, obviously a Ball State football legend. The Loveland, Ohio pipeline to Ball State, no joke. And I really like the point you made. That was Megan Wolanski-esque. So for Ball State fans looking to the future, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. But KMP and company have to feel really good about thinking they may have their Megan Wolanski replacement come 2025.
Absolutely. And I think you just look at Ball State, you look at the future, it's bright. And that's something that I think this program has done a good job of, is having senior leaders, having veteran talent, while also simultaneously bringing in and coaching up young players to learn behind those senior players, and then the cycle just repeats. That's what a good program is.
Yeah, that's how you start a dynasty. Able to build off of the homegrown talent, bring in some high-end transfers. You had a feeling it would take a little bit for Ball State to glue all the puzzle pieces together with all of these fresh faces, but when you have such a steady presence in Megan Wolanski, the offense runs through one of the best setters in the nation, who's back there to serve with a 6-point lead in her pocket. Number 15 mirrors the scoreboard. Ball State up 15-9 as Wolanski serves. Just barely gets it over the net. Akron not fooled. Wolanski sets up Smith. She does it again. Number 2 has killed 7. That leads the match.
Smith has been the star of the show tonight. I mean, she is always there in the middle, and it's just something about the way her arm moves. It's so fast, it's so effortless, and yet there's still so much on her attacks.
Smith starting to near a career high in kills in MAC play. That would be at 10, just 3 shy of tying that mark, as Wolanski's serve sent over, blocked from the Cardinals into a dig try from Lauren Baker. Point goes in favor of the Cards, as the block just had so much second-hand power that it ultimately spun and was too much for a player who's used to setting up on the outside, was caught off guard in the back line. Extends Ball State's lead to 8 in another dominant set.
Yeah, this set is honestly looked a lot more like the first set, where I think Akron's done a little bit of a better job at making Ball State work for their points, but still you look at the scoreboard, an 8-point Cardinal lead, 17-9, and them in control, and that likely warranting a timeout from Coach Tyson Norton.
And we'll get this, Tyson Norton maybe has it down to a science. He used a timeout when Ball State led last set 17-9. So the Cardinals looking for the exact same result as for Akron, just doing anything they can to get the momentum pendulum to swing ever so slightly in their direction. It's hard enough to do against a team with the stature and poise of Ball State. Even harder on the road, as Worthen Arena has been into this one all night long.
Absolutely, and if you're Coach Norton, you can't focus on, why are we down 17-9 again. You just got to get back to the basics. And I think that you look at Akron, I'm looking at Lauren Baker. We talked about her in the pregame show. Really one of the better offensive players in the Mid-American Conference, 6th in the conference in kills per set with 3.34 kills per set in that department. So we've seen Akron try to get her the volleyball, but it seems like there's been a couple times where the set is too high or Baker's not expecting it. So just getting number 20 involved, I think, is key for Akron to claw back into this set and or win a potential third set.
And the senior and Indiana native, she's tough as a $2 steak. I mean, I'll tell you, maybe she hasn't been having her way early, but there's no doubt in my mind number 20 will get it going. She always finds a way to do such. And she's the first touch off of the serve out of the break. Digs up, far side tap. Can't help her team find a point. Wolonski free ball's over. Akron, other direction. Kill up the gut. Comes with success. It's Carliana Jones. So maybe not Lauren Baker, but points have been hard to come by. Akron will certainly take whatever they can get, make it a 17-10 lead in set 2 in favor of a Ball State team that already captured a set 1 win. Jones serves over for the Navy and gold. On the other end, the black and red have a mistouch. Rear misplay from Eganoff, not necessarily the fact it's an error, but the art of which it came. That missed the field of play by about 10 feet.
Yeah, it did. It had a weird spin on it, so wonder if Eganoff maybe got it with the side of her hand or something.
The Ball State 17, Akron 11 as Smith pokies over. And they'll say Akron made contact with the net. So it won't go as a kill for Smith, but that's essentially what she just did. She forced that point out of Akron's paws. And taking candy from a baby, Hyundai Smith helps the Cardinals to a 7-point lead in the second set. Eganoff serve, plenty clean. However, Akron has an answer as Melissa Tora doesn't give Ball State a chance to return. She just attacked on that near side stripe, outside hitter Carson Tyler, not expecting to have to dig from the front line there. She's in her normal position, but the nativity doesn't pay off there. It was just a heads-up kill. Bring it back within 6. Akron serve. No good. Oh, goodness. Carson Tyler maybe just delivered the hardest kill of the day. After the serve that cleared the tape by about 15 feet, it gave Ball State a plethora of options to set up their offense when they have the choice. Why not go to Carson Tyler?
The sound of the ball hitting that court, I think, was the loudest one all night.
Josie Bloom now into the match as a libero for the Cardinals. Her serve, a good one, leads to a Buckley block. Cardinals lead at 20-12.
And we're in, again, the same situation where we're approaching what looks like it's going to be the later stages of this set. Akron, we're seeing some good things. We're seeing some flashes, just not enough consistent runs of points for the Zips to be competitive right now.
Akron looking to find some consistency. Free ball won't help. It allows Ball State a look. They have to free ball back themselves. Sloppy on both ends in the early goings of this point. Now Ball State will get another opportunity. Close side finisher. Carson Tyler with the final blow. Extends the Cardinals' lead to 9. You're starting to taste it in the air here at Worthen. This has been an utter domination.
That one was off the libero, Vanessa Del Real for Akron. It looks like we're going to get a timeout here with it being 21-12 in favor of Ball State. But that's been a couple times now where the libero Del Real has made contact with the ball but hasn't been able to get under it enough to keep it alive for her teammates.
It's a Cardinals 21-12 lead. After winning set 1 25-16, this one has a chance to be even more dominant. And you can tell that KMP had her ladies ready to go. This is a Ball State team that plays into the metric. You hear it all the time. Win set 1, you win 70% of matches. Do it at home, the number goes up to 80%. It's why Ball State's been so good at Worthen Arena. KMP has preached it in the entirety of her 9-year tenure with the black and red. And you cannot ask for a hotter start than what we've seen from BSU tonight.
I think it's so important that you mention the start and how well Ball State has started, because even in some of these matches that Ball State has won this season, the start hasn't been the best. For example, on Tuesday at Miami of Ohio, a 4-set Ball State win, but what was the set that the Cardinals lost? It was the first one. So, yes, you'll take the wins however they come, but I think it's refreshing for Kelly Miller-Phillips to see her squad come out of the gate firing on all cylinders and playing some of their best volleyball of the year, in my opinion.
And you get the sense this could be a really nice building block moving forward for a Ball State team that doesn't want to count their chickens before they hatch, but they would move to 3-3 in Mid-American Conference play with a win tonight. It will be paired up with the win against Miami, Ohio earlier in the week. That starts to build the momentum in your corner. Wins hard to come by, such a competitive conference. Ball State's got to feel really good about what they've seen to this point.
Absolutely, and hopefully for them, they can close out set 2 and try to break out the brooms in set 3.
That may help. Josie Bloom somehow able to recover on a second look. As Ball State free-balled over, Akron did the same off of the look of Gash. It is a Ball State point, unconventional. Carson Tyler took a lot off of it, sent a top spinner end over end to the back line. No one was there in that final right corner. You'd hate to say that it's going blow for blow, because this one's really going jab, jab, and then a blow in return. Ball State nearly doubling up the Zips here. Needed 22-12. With Josie Bloom fresh off of a day where she had 2 aces in Oxford, looking to find one here. Won't come on this serve, but she comes all the way scurrying to the front line just to keep the point alive on a dig that goes over the net. Akron able to lay the finisher. That's more of what we're used to seeing from this Zips team, albeit they haven't been on the same level and in the same conversation as Ball State. But the MAC, no conference to scoff at. And typically, when the opponent makes a mistake, Akron has been much better at capitalizing. That's much more of what we're used to. They now trail by 9. Serve over, leading to a Ball State kill and a big one. Madison Buckley, the 6'2" junior from Montgomery, Illinois, just climbed every step of the ladder, jolted herself off of the top rung, and sprayed it to the gap.
I thought for a second Gabby Brissett might have gotten under that for Akron, but after seeing the replay on the Jumbotron, I think that volleyball hit the hardwood about 6 inches before it got to her.
23-13 Ball State lead. Akron blocked up front. A lead to a joust. Allows Ball State to look in their back line. Second touch, a dig, leads to a kill try for Carson Tyler. The massacre continues. It's October. Get the sense a lot in Muncie. You know, you hear of all these costumes of going as killers, right? Ghostface. I want to go as Carson Tyler. She's stone cold up there. Knifes it through the gap. Ball State leads at 24-13. This being set point. Serve set over. 2 tapped into a kill try. Ball State blocks. Akron resets. This time poking over from Ella Fariadu. Ball State have a chance with a second touch after a diving effort. They're blocked up front. It's kicked over the net. Ball State did everything they could for that point. Still goes in favor of the Zips. Not every day you see one laced over like that.
Hey, when all else fails, right, anything to keep the point alive. And even though Ball State's still almost certainly going to take this second set, that would have been cool to see the Cardinals be able to finish out that point in that fashion.
Del Real serves. Ball State can't find the kill on their first look. Now far side is poked into the middle. Good news for Akron. They put any ideas of deja vu to rest. Ball State won their second set against the Zips a year ago, 25-14. That won't happen here. It's 24-15 now. Del Real looks for some momentum. Consistent approach from the Cards. They continue to feed Carson Tyler, who this time shoots it too far.
Yeah, rare misfire from Tyler there. She's been so good this season, but really this set, just the type of plays that she's made, the vision she has, the anticipation, that one just a little bit beyond the back line, and Akron still has life.
Akron down by 8. It's another solid serve. They go right back to Carson Tyler. Akron again has the answer. See who Ball State feeds this time. Different look up the middle. It's the right choice. Gwen Kroll puts the finisher on set number 2. Call it 25-16. The exact same score as set 1. And really the same result throughout. It was Ball State dominance. They're up 2-0.
More of the same, and Gwen Kroll finishing it off. How about that? Gwen Kroll, a transfer, but not just any transfer, a transfer from Bowling Green, so an in-conference rival snatching a player from another. I mean, that's really a good get for Ball State in the transfer portal from a Bowling Green team that Ball State has so much history against. And good to see her finish off set 2 there. She's someone that is only a sophomore, but I think she's going to have a bigger role as the season and as her Ball State career progresses.
And she's a true Swiss Army knife who always fills out the stat sheet. Now, with that kill, has one of those. She's got herself a dig and an assist. It's a do-it-all player who is comfortable at every stage of the floor. You mentioned it, the rare transfer not only from in-conference, but from the team that to this point who has looked the best in the MAC. Makes a big impact for the Cardinals. Gets the finisher. And really, you hate to mail it in, but that has to be a pretty shiny emblem that was just put on set number 2 after Ball State wins another one by 9 points.
Yeah, I think the message for Akron has to be, whether you lose 25-16 or 25-23, they count just the same. And for Akron, it's really just got to be one at a time. You know, you can't be thinking about reverse sweep and all that. It's just, hey, like, let's put a run together. Let's even something as simple as, hey, let's get the first point in this set. Let's make Ball State play from behind just for a little bit. Because right now, all the pressure's on Akron because they've gotten, quite frankly, dominated in 2 sets. They're on the road against a good Ball State team, needing to win 3 straight sets to win the match.
Worthen Arena known as a pressure cooker environment when teams come in on the road. It's been no different tonight. Ball State looks for the sweep, and they'll look to bring out the brooms. Can the Cardinals play janitor? We'll see when we're back on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is Sports Link Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
From trivia night at Brothers and Tater Tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with SportsLink Digital.
Cardinals lead it 2-0. I'm AJ Swiatek, joined by my man Ryan Stojetz. His parents tuning in all the way from London overseas. To that I say cheerio as the Cardinals look for a sweep and partner. It's been nothing but Ball State. What's the message in either huddle heading into a pivotal third set?
Well, first off, I appreciate you shouting out my parents there. And my message to them is appreciate you for tuning in, but shouldn't you go to bed? Is it like midnight, 1 o'clock there? But nonetheless, we appreciate you tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio at whatever hour it is over there. But anyway, to answer your question, in this match, I'm looking for more of the same from Ball State and for Akron. I'm looking for them to come out to maybe an early lead. We talked about it before we went to break. Even just something as simple as getting the first point of this third set for the Zips could boost a lot of confidence for them and just at least put some pressure on Ball State, make them play from behind a little bit, because right now Ball State is at home. They're up 2-0, and they won both of those first 2 sets in relatively dominant fashion. So Akron's really got no pressure against Ball State. The Zips have to try to change that.
Looking for a nothing-to-lose mentality. Ball State back to hitting left to right. Wolonsky immediately serves as the buzzer sounds. First point, much like every other set, in favor of the Cardinals. It's Madison Buckley, the queen of the joust, ready to go fencing. 1-0 Ball State.
Now we'll see, do the Cardinals go on a run, or is Akron able to hang around for a little bit?
Wolonsky would like to have the former. As her serve a good one. Ball State able to block the kill try. Going to force an Akron free ball, or will it? It's blocked by Buckley on one she likely wouldn't have liked to have contact on. So allows Akron to look on offense. Set near side. Ball State blocks again. Smith sends it to the back line. Akron goes right back up front. It's another long rally. Buckley set up far side. Goes to the back line. Akron up the middle. That time it's Tyler digging it out in the back. Ingenoff tries a pokey. It won't go. Tyler first touch. Wolonsky second. Smith third. And again, Akron's able to corral it. Long fought point here as Wolonsky free balls to the Zips. Navy and blue picking up some steam, but Ball State has the answer. Second touch a dig. Third and Ingenoff tap. Again, it's dug out. Akron moves right to left. They won't find the point. Instead, they find two arms outstretched by number 2, Allende Smith.
Yeah, I know you and I both love a good rally, especially when Ball State comes out on top. Those marathon points always so fun to watch, and again, goes in favor of Ball State, and they're once again up early in a set.
Cardinals continue to fly. It's 2-0 in favor of the black and red. Make it 3-0. Smith does it again. Oh my goodness. Allende Smith with another solo block. Not the tallest player on the floor. She makes up for every bit of it with that vertical. Make it 3-0 Ball State as Wolonsky starting to feel herself. Sends a hard serve over. Akron has the answer. Buckley out of position. It ricochets off of her right arm. Out of play on the near side. Effectively going as an Emanuela Christodoulou kill.
Right now for Akron, okay, you got that first point. Now the message has to be play mistake-free volleyball. Take advantage of that point and try and go on a bit of a run.
Ball State looking to add to their lead meanwhile. Set up for Ingenoff. She's blocked. Now set up for Smith. Rare bad set from Wolonsky. Forces a free ball. Akron finds the back corner, but it's just beyond the line. Ball State was ready to surrender the serve, but the line judge, or the best vantage point of all, said that one was just far. Ball State leads at 4-1.
And those are the points you have to have for the Zips. There was some open hardwood there in the back corner, just not able to find it.
Couldn't have put that better myself. Akron has been doing a rough job of cherry-picking the easy points, making it harder on themselves than it needs to be. Not a recipe for success against a team as stout as this Ball State one. We'll have a look on offense. Wolonsky sets up for Buckley. She's blocked. In the rare times today that Ball State's been out-muscled up front, it's Melissa Tora, fresh off of a 4-kill game against Buffalo. Now with the solo block.
Now, Tora, one of 5 international players on this Akron team. She's a native of Istanbul, Turkey, which is the only city in the world that's in 2 continents.
Learn something new every day. Nothing new there, however. Carson Tyler has taught us time and time again that she is her. No different this time, 5-2 Ball State.
Absolutely. Carson Tyler has been doing it all this match, now up to a team-leading and match-leading 11 kills on the evening.
Carson Tyler's all-time most kills in a 3-set match, 13 against Butler. She's 2 shy of that total with plenty of time to go in set 3. He's just focused on getting Ball State a win, however, as Akron showing a little bit more resiliency here to kick off the 3rd set than they did in the first 2. That's a point again off of a missed block from Buckley. Not much she could control there.
Yeah, not really. And the Zips have been getting to Madison Buckley a little bit, getting it to go off of her and out of play. And we've seen a little bit of life from Akron. Right now, 5-3, Akron with the serve. We'll see how long they can hang around.
Ball State looks to add to their tally. Nearly do it on a hard kill try, but instead they'll have to try once more. There it is. All the answers for Carson Tyler. Yet another kill for number 20. He was playing QB1 out there. Read the defense, found the hole. Pinpoint accuracy, 6'3 Cardinals.
She is unbelievable. To put it simply, the volleyball just simply goes where she wants it to go.
Her vision, immense. Her accuracy somehow even better. All of this being said, she's only a true freshman. As Ball State leads at 6-3, make it 7-3. The dig try from Krista Thulu wound up going backwards. No one near the vicinity of that pass. And Ball State looking to cruise for a bruise here. They could get out of this one in under an hour. That won't help the cause. It's a rare misplay tonight from the service stripe as Josie Bloom found the net, but all things considered, Ball State has to be really proud of the effort they put together in terms of service.
Absolutely, and you still got to finish it. You still got to, obviously finish the job, but overall, a really complete 2 sets and change so far for the home team.
Del Real serves. Carson Tyler kills again.
That one hit an Akron player. I didn't see who it was in the back row. Might have been Vitskova. That, I don't know what she does. It had like some backspin on it where Vitskova was in position, had her hands out to try to receive it, but it just awkwardly bounced off of her and went over towards the Akron bench.
She sliced through that one like a Cutco knife. She comes from the side of the volleyball, generates so much torque. I just love how twitchy of a player she is up front. And maybe a little bit of an announcer's jinx as there is a service error, but still formidable day for number 20, who has her Cardinals up 2-0 on the match, 8-5 in set 3. Akron nearly with a service error of their own. Eganoff didn't want to leave any questions. She gives up to the front line. Gwen Kroll makes it a wise decision. It's a kill for number 13, her second of the night.
Yeah, Kroll was the one who closed out set number 2, getting that 25th point for the Cardinals with a kill. She's someone with Ball State being in control of these sets, a younger player that's seeing a little bit more playing time than some past matches.
Ball State leads at 9-5, make it 9-6 as the Zips are starting to find some success by attacking this near side, the right side of the court. They found a hole in the Ball State defense, just looking to continue to penetrate it and weaken this squad down. This time it was Anaya Kennedy in the shoes of Madison Buckley who couldn't pick up the block. So Akron now trails by 3 in set 3. Sent over. Ball State will look to find the dagger. Instead, Smith mistimes her jump and completely whiffed on the ball altogether. Rare miscue there from Ayunde that found Ball State side of the floor without a third touch. Make it 9-7 now. The Cards on top. Good service streak from Sophie Twig back there. Snaps her wrist to get it over. Anaya Kennedy with the kill. Went straight to the heart of the defense. Vitskova was left alone and couldn't handle it. She was stuck in that awkward position between do I set it, do I bump it? Ultimately just had 2 outstretched arms, and not many good things going to happen when that is the case.
She was kind of facing sideways where it's like, do I go for the dig? Do I go for the set? You put it best, just really in an awkward phase where wasn't sure what to do, and in volleyball you got to react fast.
Polonsky serves, looking to add to a Ball State 3-point lead. Akron, third touch far side on the second possession, dug out by the libero Ledbetter. Ball State just have to free ball over. Akron setting up more in the formation that they like. The back set is money. Carliana Jones gets the last laugh. It's back within 2 points in set 3 as Akron looking to avoid the sweep.
And those are the type of points that Akron hasn't been getting. Where there is open hardwood, you see it, they've either not seen it or they've fired it past the back line. Good vision there by the Zips, and they're hanging around in this third set.
Eganoff looking to get back in command. Not the touch to do such as Wolonsky's first touch, a dig right back to Eganoff. Not the greatest second hit. It forces a free ball from the pocket of number 9. Another good dig from Ledbetter. She's helping to set up this offense. They feed Eganoff for the third straight time. Again, Akron has the answer. Buckley now blocks up front. Akron resets right back to Buckley. She just got back-to-back blocks. Neither found the ground. Buckley gets a piece again. It allows Tyler back with a touch. Eganoff fed again on that far side. And again, Unable to find Hardwood. Now Smith on the second touch. She's a magician. Pulled a rabbit out of her hat up the middle. On only the second touch of the possession, Smith fools everybody, went to set it. Nope, I'll just tap it over to the middle. 11-8, the Cardinals lead set 3 in a match they're already up 2-0.
If you're playing Ball State, you got to know where Ayende Smith is at all times just because of how quick she is. You know, it seems like the ball just gets to her, and then half a second later, it's on the ground in Akron territory somehow. It's unbelievable. So fun to watch.
Sends Katie Egan off to serve. Handled by the Zips, who find the block of Smith again, and she is fired up. Number 2 has been all over the place, not only this evening, but this season. She forces yet another timeout from Tyson Norton's Akron Zips.
Smith, a do-it-all player. You mentioned she's a grad student, formerly with Towson. Last season with Towson, she finished second in the Colonial Athletic Association with a 1.18 block per set average, and you see why there, because we talk about the offensive quickness, but I think just an overall good way to put it is her presence in the middle of the offense, of the middle of that front row for Ball State.
The way I look at it, if I'm the opposition, you don't want to see Ayende Smith on the other side of the net. She is just such a force to be reckoned with. You have to scheme around her if you're coming to Worthen Arena.
You absolutely do, and I think that's something that moving forward into conference play, when some of Ball State's future opponents watch film on the Cardinals, they're going to say, wow, that number 2, you know, she wasn't on the team last year. She's pretty good, and they're going to be having to be alert as to where she is at all times and try to come up with some sort of game plan to stop her or at least limit her, because let's face it, some players are just so good you don't stop them, you only limit them or contain them.
And I know I speak for both of us when I say that's not said lightly. There's not many players in volleyball who you have to base an entire scheme around. Ball State arguably has 3 between Smith, Wolanski, and Tyler, and they're still only meshing together. You mentioned it in the pre-match report, only a third of the way through action. This Ball State team only looking better as the steam train chugs along.
Yeah, absolutely, and if the Cardinals can close out this one, you get a win, you get to 3-3 in conference play. They host Buffalo here at Worthen Arena tomorrow. You win that one, all of a sudden you got a winning record in conference play.
There'll be much more of the Ball State Cardinals we know. BSU leads at 12-8 out of the break. Katie Eganoff still back there to serve. Does so successfully, it's an ace. Not a conventional one whatsoever, just couldn't be handled by Sophie Twig. A libero, typically keen on a dig try, not there.
And that's the type of stuff that we saw from Akron more in the first 2 sets, those type of mistakes. But what's allowed Akron to stay relatively competitive in this third set was limiting those mistakes, but they're not able to do it there.
Violation on the service return. Ball State leads at 14-8, and today they're out-hitting Akron by a percentage of 442 to 143. It's continuing to pile up. The laundry list of good things to say about the Cardinals only getting taller.
Yeah, bad to worse for Akron. Right out of the timeout, too. Basically given 2 points to the Cardinals.
Eganoff looks to continue her success. Left side beyond the service stripe. This time Akron is able to dig it out. And find a point. No, they don't. It's kicked over by Ball State. Akron can't believe their eyes. They just have to reset on defense. Massive holes on either end. Akron takes advantage. Both teams were completely off schedule there, as I don't think either side anticipated another kick over in the same match.
Yeah, that was an incredible point, and Ball State nearly able to keep it alive again, but it was just past the outstretched arms of a couple Cardinals.
So that's the 9th point of the set for Akron, who trail by 5 and look to avoid being swept on the road. Wolanski sets far side to Tyler. Zips able to dig it out back. Ayende Smith unable to pick up the block that time. Wolanski was almost anticipating number 2 to find that success. Left herself a bit out of position, too far back for a diving dig. Wolanski pats her chest, saying that one's on me.
Yeah, and you know, Wolanski as a veteran player, she's going to take ownership for stuff like that. She still got close, but just a second too late.
Ball State leads at 14-10. Return try, Ayende Smith again. Just continues to fly high, does number 2, who will check out of the set with yet another big-time kill. Smith currently has the highest hitting percentage by far in her career. It's at .909, coupled with 13 kills. That's just unheard of. She gets a well-earned breather. Ball State up by 5. As there's a joust at the net. Ball State wins it, but Akron digs out. Zips going right to left. Zip one by. It finds Hardwood. Diving Ledbetter couldn't get to it.
Those are the type of things that Akron, we've been saying it all night long. Akron's done some good things. They just haven't done it consistently enough. Right there, getting a kill in the back of Ball State territory where no Cardinal can get to it. It's just they haven't had the run of 3 or 4 points that's allowed them to really give Ball State a good fight.
See if they can change that here. Krista Thulu. There's number 4. Her team trails by the same tally. Now they trail by 5. Kill up the middle. Not many middle hitters are able to climb up like Gwen Kroll, who now is really picking up steam as this one goes on. We didn't say her name much in the first set. She got .25 in set 2. Now is a pair of kills here in the third.
Yeah, and she's got an attacking percentage of .571, so Kroll making the most of the opportunities she's getting here tonight.
Ball State sets up the offense, up 16-11, and Aya Kennedy sends a top spinner over. Akron the other way, able to find a hole as Ball State tipped it out of play. Just barely touched, but it'll count just the same. Point goes to the Navy in gold, who trail 16-12 and take over service behind Vanessa Del Real.
I'm eager to see when Tyson Norton, if he uses his last time out, because I think you don't want to wait too long while you still got Ball State somewhat within reach.
That won't help the cause. It's a service error that Ball State kind of lucked their way into. Eganoff and Carson Tyler had a miscommunication and ran into one another. Just had to watch the ball sail, ultimately out of play. Cards lead the match 2-0. The set 17-12. Looking to bring out the brooms. That'll help. It's 18-12 off of the mistouch.
See Coach Norton, they're talking to one of the officials. Again, thought for a second maybe he'd take that final timeout of the set.
There is the challenge card.
Oh.
He didn't agree with the call on the floor, as it was initially signaled, correct me if I'm wrong, that when that found the floor, no one from Ball State had made contact.
That was my understanding. That's what I thought happened. But again, I mean, you look at the situation here. I think regardless of what happens, it's a good challenge because Akron, again, a little bit more competitive in this set, but just they have not proven that they're able to play from behind in big deficits. So I like the challenge. We'll see if we get any looks at it. And I respect it from Coach Norton.
I really would tend to agree that this is a good decision because it also kind of functions as a timeout and a breather for an Akron team that isn't as deep top to bottom from Ball State. The Cardinals have been able to rotate in plenty of fresh faces. Akron only 2 deep off of the bench outside of their starting 6. This could be the exact momentum switch they need. Turn the tide on the contest. As for the Cardinals, you see lots of dancing, lots of happiness on their end of the court. It's Pink Night in support of breast cancer awareness. Ball State always elevates their play on this night. No different here on this October the 11th.
While we still wait for the challenge, just looking at the situation right now for Ball State. Right now, as it stands, it's 18-12 Cardinals. Obviously, a challenge reversal would tighten things up a little bit because the call on the court was Ball State point. So, it's a bit of a swing where it's, is it 18-12 or is it 17-13, the difference between a 6 and 4 point match?
That it is. It's an extended review, and it will stay a Ball State point. Nothing conclusive to get it overturned. So the challenge unsuccessful from Coach Norton as everything continues to go in the corner of the black and red. Wear their white jerseys with red trim and black numerals this evening. Have utterly dominated for about 2.5 sets. It's an 18-12 lead in set 3 for a Ball State team that's looking for a sweep as Carson Tyler sweeps one over the net on the serve. Akron going to try a far side kill. It's blocked. Allows Ball State a chance to set up to Kennedy, left alone. When you're left one-on-one blocking with Anaya Kennedy, it will rarely go in your favor. Ella Fariadu could do nothing but watch as she skied high and soared one into the center of the court. It will force that final timeout from Akron, looking to garner anything they can here deep into set 3.
Yeah, you can't take your timeouts with you, right? They don't carry over to your next match. So, you know, really almost sort of like Akron got 3 timeouts in this set with the challenge that, albeit was unsuccessful, gave Coach Norton a chance to give his players a breather, talk to them, and look, even if Akron doesn't battle back in this set, it's just about building a foundation, building confidence where, what was the score in the first 2 sets? It was 25-16. I think even something as little as just making it 25-20 if Akron isn't going to come all the way back. Just those little building blocks that you see from Akron, because let's face it, barring an incredible comeback this night, it's not going to be the result that the Zips want. So I think that the message just has to be take it 1 point at a time. If we come back and win this set, amazing. If not, hopefully we at least give Ball State all they can handle.
Ball State leading in just about every category statistically. The 2 that really jump out to me, Ball State has 7 service aces to Akron 3. Of those 7, what I have tallied in front of me, about 5 were by Akron's doing. Not true aces, just mishandles, and that kind of comes through in the efficiency statistics as Ball State has only climbed, now hitting .446 on the match as opposed to Akron's mere .167. Really hard to win when you have that kind of discrepancy.
Exactly, and when I was talking with Tyler on the pregame show, our key to the game for Akron was to play with grit on every point and play mistake-free volleyball. That stat just shows right there Akron has not been doing enough of that tonight.
Almost trying to do a little bit too much against a highly formidable opponent. Can't blame the effort as Ball State brings in a couple fresh faces. It's Kendall Swiatek in for the first time to do service. Looking for a 6-point run to put a cherry on top of what has been a great match. She just found an ace. Again, it's a misplay from the Zips. That was just a very simple floating serve over the tape, but it found the outstretched arms of Delaney Gash, the outside hitter, not up to the task in terms of bumping one up. Wound up well on a play. Ball State leads at 20-12 with Swiatek serving over again. And finding another point. That one was a much better serve than the first. It was misplayed from Akron, just a one-touch over. Eganoff did the rest, slamming it into the court, getting Ball State a step closer. They lead at 21-12 in set 3. Swiatek able to send over successfully again. Now into a solo block. Ball State will not have the answer as the middle blocker, Glenn Kroll, left all alone. That is the job on paper, but a tough ask of 13. The Zips pull it within 8. Cash serves over. Eganoff tries a pokey, won't find it. Instead, it's a pokey on the other end. A second tap. A really good one on only the second touch of the possession. As sneaking up from the back line was Vitskova, putting her volleyball IQ on full display.
And you see Ball State with the situation with them being up fairly comfortably, taking out some of their better players, giving other people a chance to get in these situations, to get reps. That's all about building depth and just really building a program top to bottom.
Akron taking advantage, however, as Carliana Jones took a lot off of that kill, but this is what we're more used to seeing from the Zips. They love to attack the holes in the defense. Now deep into this third set, actually finding some results.
And they see that, right? No Megan Wolanski, no Carson Tyler right now. They identify that some of Ball State's playmakers aren't on the court right now.
As it is an ace for the Zips behind Delaney Gash's service, forcing the first time out of the day for Kelly Miller-Phillips. Her squad still comfortably in the lead, 21-16, but this is the exact message you boasted during the last break. It's about Akron trying to hang their hat on something. That was a really nice stretch, the best we've seen of the day for the team sporting their all-navies.
It was, and I think the message for Kelly Miller-Phillips, who took the timeout, is, hey, you know, we still got to get 4 more points. You know, the message has to be, you know, there's still volleyball to be played, so hopefully for her squad, the Cardinals didn't take their foot off the gas too early.
And I honestly really like the timing of this timeout from the veteran coach in Kelly Miller-Phillips. It's a 21-16 lead, still very comfortably in control of both the match that you lead 2-0 and the set that you lead 21-16. It's almost a wake-up call, right? It's we're in complete control. Let's keep the full throttle energy and race to the finish line.
That's the message. I mean, you just said it best, race to the finish line. You know, Akron already matching their total in each of the first 2 sets with 16. maybe a little bold, but let's see if Ball State can keep them there. Go on a 4-0 run to end the night. How impressive would that be?
Would be quite the feat. Delaney Gash has other plans. As out of the timeout, she's ready for service once more. Clean strike from 13, clears the tape. Ball State handles cleanly. Anaya Kennedy does the finishing. Number 14 has had a quiet night for her standards, only the 5th kill, but continuing to make an impact is the veteran who fans have known to grow in love. Grown to know in love, I think is how that one works. But regardless, Ball State leads at 22-16. Ball sent over. Joust try to the back line. Cardinals get another stab. Smith does it again. Career high in kills for number 2 in Maction. It's been her night.
It has been, and so cool that we're able to see a little bit more of her in this match. She got her right arm extended up there to get under that volleyball just enough to get it down.
Pro looks to be the final server of the match. That won't be the case. 23-16 turns 23-17 on the error that missed on the far side not long. Just didn't have the right proportions in terms of sending it into the court of play.
Yeah, and that's something that Kroll's going to want to get better at as she progresses throughout this season. Coming into this match from the service line, no aces, 6 service errors for number 13 for the home team.
23-7, Ball State lead. Eganoff look to make it 24, won't happen on that strike. As now Kennedy gets a block and Akron will reset. Try up the middle, barely touched. It did enough to slow things down. Gives Smith another try. Diving dig, a good one by Twig, keeps things alive. Akron sends over. Now Ball State is a diving effort of their own. That's Lindsey Green getting a piece. Able to free ball and over is Eganoff. Akron on the other end. Smith somehow gets a somersaulting dig, and it's a free ball over once more, but Akron finds the hole and puts the finisher on a good rally behind Vitskova.
Akron, a little bit of life, more life in this third set than in either of the first two, with it being 23-18, but Akron's got to finish the comeback effort if they're going to do it from here. Akron out of timeouts in this set.
Ball State leads at 23-18. Sophie Twig serves over. Anaya Kennedy set up. She'll get point 24 down the line. Del Rio was left alone. The libero couldn't answer. And a Ball State team that has swept Akron in 7 of their total 21 matches in the series history, looking to make it 8 of 22.
Absolutely. Vibes are high. Lots of energy here in Worthen Arena. Fans on their feet for match point.
And who else but Megan Wolonsky to do the service? Cards looking for a sweep, 24-18. Wolonsky serves over. 3-touch from the Zips. They're able to find the hole. Ball State didn't even get a look offensively as Carliana Jones just found the hole and hit it. So it's now 24-19 in favor of Ball State.
Looks like we're getting a stoppage here. Would there be a challenge? Because I don't think Ball State would take a timeout. I don't think that makes sense with Akron on their heels, basically facing elimination in this match with it being match point. So do we have a challenge here, perhaps?
She did pull out the challenge card, did Cardinals head coach Kelly Miller Phillips. Would be a bit of an anticlimactic end to what has been a seriously good night for Ball State University women's volleyball. Just a point away from the sweep. See if it comes via the challenge. The officials huddled around the monitors, getting every look that they can. Point remains in favor of the Navy and Gold. So it's 24-19 in a third set of a match. And Ball State leads 2-0 behind a pair of 25-16 dominant set wins.
And just got to get that last point. Sometimes the hardest to get. Ball State will have a good amount of tries to do it up 5, but hopefully soon the Cardinals can close this one out in 3 sets.
Fans on their feet waving their arms. Jones serves over. Wolonsky forced to give a half-hearted dig, and by the time it got to the far side, Kendall Barnes never stood a chance. It's a point for the Zips on what will go as an attack error, but really more of a bad second touch. So Ball State still up 24-20. Looking to find the dagger. Feed right back to the same spot. That'll do it. Kendall Barnes gets the final kill off of the bench. And it's a perfect note of emphasis on what was a complete team match from Ball State. They spread the love and ultimately sweep the Zips to get back to 500 in Maction, 10-7 on the year.
just a really complete game for Ball State. This match, all 3 sets. I know the third set got a little closer, but Ball State did bring in some other names to, show the depth that they have on their team. Kendall Barnes is an example of that. How cool to see her get the match-sealing kill after the attack error just before that. I'm sure she's feeling really good about that. So overall, a really good night to be a Ball State Cardinal women's volleyball fan, because not only do you get the win, you look really, really good doing it in 3 sets, doing it in dominant fashion, winning at the service line, winning on defense, winning on offense. Akron just, quite frankly, didn't really look like they were up for it tonight, playing from behind pretty much exclusively in all 3 of these sets.
And I think that what I want to pinpoint in what you just said, what really speaks measures and numbers to what Ball State just did. 25-20 was considered a close set for Ball State. That's still dominant. It was a 25-16 set, 1 win, 25-16 set, 2 win. The final 25-20 in set 3, garnering a sweep for the Ball State Cardinals on their pink night.
Absolutely, and just the amount of contributors that we saw step up for Ball State. I mean, we talked about Anaya Kennedy in the pre-match. She had 9 kills. Allende Smith, who, man, I'll be honest, I obviously watching Ball State volleyball, I knew who she was. I knew that she was someone that the Cardinals brought in this past offseason, but my goodness, she is just fun to watch. Offensively, defensively, a do-it-all player, a grad student. We mentioned transfer from Towson, so an experienced player that can provide some veteran leadership to a Cardinals team that already has a good amount of it, but you can never have too many veteran leaders, especially on a squad that's looking to have postseason success here in a couple months. But also, how about Carson Tyler? A match-leading 13 kills, tying her career high for a 3-set match. I think you used a quarterback analogy to describe her. That's so perfect, because her vision, her anticipation, it's unbelievable. Maybe she might not have the hardest attack in terms of velocity, but my goodness, she just knows where open hardwood is. It seems like she knows what the Akron players are going to do before they do it. She looked really good today after only having 5 kills in 1 set last time out at Miami.
The message heading into tonight was, what will we get from the Ball State front line? Well, Allende Smith, Carson Tyler and company make you remember the name. Ball State University gets their first sweep in action of the 2024 campaign. That's all she wrote. It's a sweep, and a dominant one at that for Kelly Miller Phillips' crew. The Cardinals move to 10-7 on the year, 3-3 in action. The Zips fall to 7-11 on the season, 3-3, a perfect 500 in Mid-American Conference play. So for Ryan Stojetz and Tyler Klimes, I'm AJ Swiatek saying farewell from Worthen Arena. We appreciate you opting to spend your Friday evening with us here in mid-October. That's all she wrote. Ball State 3, Akron 0 on Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.